Well, listen up. FICO changing up the way it views your credit score, and they claim it's a way to give your score a boost here. So starting in 2019, the new opt-in Ultra-Fico credit score system will roll out, taking into account your savings, checking, or money market account. So I had the question, who really benefits from this? For that, we have a Britt Scearce with our Simply Money team joining us this morning. Thank you so much for being here, Britt.
Thanks for having me.
So you hear things when it comes, first of all, when it comes to credit, I know that everyone is typically afraid, like, oh my gosh, like I thought it's going to get more difficult, but you say that this could actually help a person who may have a very low credit history.
Exactly. See, right now, the current FICO system that most lenders use, the scoring goes from 300 to 850, and obviously the higher the score, the better. So most of the really good rates and terms go to people with scores of 740 and above. But, you know, you have a lot of folks that have scores in the low 600s or mid 600s that are just near misses on getting certain loans, okay? Just their score's just not quite there. And so what they were looking for is, you know, there's a lot of folks that might not have the perfect credit score, but they're actually very responsible people.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, they have a checking account, they put money in that, they don't bounce their checks, they've been banked for a lot of years, and that's another data point that would basically make someone more creditworthy as far as looking at them to lend them money. So that's what this new Ultra-Fico score is going to do. It's just there are many different types of FICO scores out there. I mean, the auto industry has their own version, the insurance industry has their own version, the credit card industry has their own version, and most of us in the lending world use FICO 8 or they come out with a FICO 9 a couple of years ago, and this is just another tool that they've come up with that to kind of help. There's probably 7 to 10 million people that can possibly get loans utilizing this particular new model that wouldn't be able to get a loan otherwise.
So how does this model break it down? You know, what are they taking into consideration?
Well, what they're doing is they're taking their current FICO scoring model, which is, you know, the 35% of your FICO score is based on how you pay your bills on time, okay? So missed payments and so forth, that makes up part of your score. 30% of the FICO score is based on what they call debt utilization. How much of your available credit are you using at any given time? So if you're maxed out on your credit cards, that would lower your score.
Gotcha.
Okay. 15% is length of time accounts have been established. So, you know, if you've had your accounts open for a long time, that generally helps your normal FICO score. 10% is what they call new credit, you know, where, you know, if you've opened a whole lot of new credit in a short period of time, that could hurt your score.
Yeah.
But if you don't open much new credit, that helps. The last 10% of the FICO score is what they call loan mix.
Yeah.
So do you have experience managing different types of credit? So installment, mortgages, you know, credit cards and that sort of thing. So for some folks, they may not have that many accounts established, but yet they may be totally responsible. They have a checking account that they might run several $1,000s a month through. They never bounce checks. They've had a checking account for 10, 15 years. And just because their score's a little bit lower shouldn't knock them out of being able to get a loan. So this new Ultra-Fico score is now, if you get turned down using your normal FICO score, a lender has an option. If you decide, as the borrower, if you opt in to say, hey, could you run my my Ultra-Fico score, you would have to voluntarily give them your checking account information.
Okay, so that's the thing I want to make sure I mention. You have an option. You don't have to do this, right?
That's right. This will not be
like
you know,
mandatory.
a first the first wave you know, qualification type of product used. I mean, this is going to be something that if you get turned down using your normal FICO scores, this would be an option for you to say, hey, could you run my score as an Ultra score? And then you would get to choose which checking account that they would utilize. And then they would run that information through their algorithm, and hopefully it would give you possibly as much as 20 more points on your score, which could make it so that you are qualified for the loan.
Well, only a few seconds here, but at what point could this hurt a person, the Ultra-Fico score?
Well, I don't know that there's any downside here because, I mean, you would really only be utilizing it to kind of give you a second chance at qualifying for a loan. You know, if for some reason you're getting a loan, if lenders get too loose, like if this turns out to be a deal that gives people loans that really can't afford it, that would not be a good thing.
No. You still have some. You have still some. I just think about the fact that we know when we break down exactly how much money you have in your bank account, what's going in. For the person that lives check to check, would this be something that it would be good to opt in on, or would they rather just stay away from it?
Well, you know, I think someone who, unfortunately, when you have lower credit scores, you end up paying more for everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this only benefits someone, you know, in being able to get better terms, perhaps lowering monthly payments on items that they're paying for, even though they're check to check.
All right, so and this is for sure happening January 2019 is when it goes into effect.
That's when it will roll out. It's being piloted right now with some large credit unions here in the country, and hopefully it's going to be a nice tool to help more people be able to get what they want and help them, you know, better their lives.
All right, Britt Scearce of the Simply Money team. Thank you for the update.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back.